Good morning, everybody. My name is Elizabeth Gray, and I have entitled my morning assembly, Venomous Ships and Dragons, Beware the Blue. You will soon know why. Before working on this assembly, I had never given any thought as to the difference between something that was poisonous or something that was venomous. But as I was researching this particular creature, I learned that toxins are substances produced by organisms in nature that cause death or injury to another creature. Both of the creatures you see here produce toxins, but the cane frog on the left is poisonous and the rattlesnake on the right is venomous. The difference lies in how the toxins are delivered. If you are harmed or killed by something that is poisonous, it means it's happened because you either ate it, you licked it, you breathed it, or you touched this thing. If you are harmed or killed by something that bit you or stung you, then that means you have been affected by venom. And it is extremely rare for a creature to be both venomous and poisonous, but it does happen. For example, this creature, the blue-ringed jellyfish, is both venomous and poisonous. This particular jellyfish bites its victims with a small beak in the middle of its underside, which is a picture on the left. I know it's really hard to see the beak, but I promise it is there. Then the animals, when they bite with their beak, the venom comes out and kills or paralyzes the creature. It is also poisonous because it secretes toxins out of its skin, so if you eat it, you can also get sick, and if you're an animal, a smaller animal, you could also die. Interestingly, when poison enters the food chain, it might not be immediately toxic to the first organism that ingests it, but it can become more concentrated and then become poisonous to the creature higher up on the food chain. This is the case for the two creatures we are going to learn about today. First is this Portuguese Man-of-War. This beautiful, fascinating looking sort of bubble that floats on the surface looks beautiful and interesting and just kind of fun. But don't be fooled. This creature has a gas-filled bladder that floats on top of the surface, and even though the bladder itself is only about 12 inches long and about 6 inches high, so about the shape of kind of an average computer screen, it has stinging tentacles that go beneath the surface and can sometimes be as long as 160 feet. So the tentacles can go underwater 160 feet. So you still might not be safe. This sail, it's called a Portuguese Man-of-War because people thought that it looked like the ship pictured in the top right, which was called a man-of-war ship. This is a picture of how long the tentacles are beneath the surface. And you can see on the right a sketch of the entire creature together. Now, although this may look like a jellyfish, it is actually not a species of jellyfish. Jellyfish are one organism, but this particular type of creature is called a siphonophore, which means it is made up of separate parts that are all genetically different from each other. So it's basically separate sort of animals that combine into one full creature. They can't live separately from each other, but they are all genetically distinct. This creature has no means of moving on its own, and so it floats with the currents and the waves. It is venomous and extremely dangerous for many fish and can harm and even kill humans. When a fish touches one of its tentacles, there are venomous barbs or sharp sort of hooks on the tentacles that pierce the fish's skin, paralyze it, and then the tentacles suck up into its digestive organs so that the creature can digest the fish. And the man-of-war has very, very, very few predators because of how poisonous or venomous it is. But there is one, and that is the real hero of today. So welcome and prepare yourselves for the deadly, the conniving, the mesmerizing, and frankly the cute Glaucus Atlanticus. So this little creature, the first part of its name, Glaucus, is from a Greek word meaning bluish gray, and Glaucus was a Greek sea god who was born mortal But then he became immortal after eating a magical herb, which you'll see is very fitting for this particular creature. These creatures are also called many other names, including blue angel sea slug, blue dragons of the sea, sea swallow, blue dragon slug. These creatures are brilliant protected and a vicious enemy to have. Similar to a man-of-war, this creature floats at the surface of the ocean, but the way that it does this is it has a little mouth that swallows an air bubble, and then that air bubble helps it to float. Also, the main thing that is really fascinating about how this creature moves is that it actually floats upside down most of its life. So the blue side that we saw in the previous picture, that is actually its belly. That is a stomach. The back or the top part of this creature is this silvery gray. And the reason for this is that it can double camouflage, something called counter shading, where when it's flipped upside down, its blue belly reflects up. So if you are, for example, a bird and you're looking down on the water, the blue of this creature blends in with the blue of the water. If you are a fish or something under the water and you look up, the silver part of this creature blends in with the way the light reflects off the ocean, which is a more silvery hue. So from both directions, this creature is camouflaged and it's very difficult to see. It is also extremely tiny. The largest one is only 3 centimeters long, which is about the size of a safety pin or a dry erase marker cap. So with how tiny it is, how can this creature be so vicious? Well, it's not poisonous and it's not venomous, at least not on its own. This creature actually feeds on larger venomous sea creatures like the Portuguese man-of-war. And this little blue dragon of the sea will actually eat an entire Portuguese man-of-war. So keep in mind, its tentacles are 160 feet long, and this little creature is 3 centimeters. So this is a little blurry, but this is a picture, one of the pictures of it starting to eat the Portuguese man-of-war. So the little star-looking sprawled creature on the left is the blue dragon, and then the large creature on the right is the Portuguese man-of-war. Here are a couple other pictures where you can see it. It has a mouth and it bites through the Portuguese man-of-war. Now, once it eats these venomous creatures, what it does is it actually steals and stores the venom from the creature it ate, and it becomes more venomous because its cells are so concentrated and the creature is so tiny, holding in all that venom from the previously large and larger creature makes this blue dragon more powerful and more venomous than the creature it stole the venom from. So this little tiny creature can eat and poison and strike people with their venom more powerfully than the Portuguese man-of-war. Not only are they dangerous and easy, they hide easily, and they're dangerous and so powerfully filled with venom, they're also hermaphrodites, which means that they have both male and female reproductive organs. So what happens is 2 of these creatures, when they mate, both creatures lay eggs. So they multiply twice as fast as other creatures because both will lay eggs. On the right, you can see these long white strings. Those are the eggs. They come off in one long string with about 12 to 20 eggs on it. And these creatures, where they lay their eggs, they can float in the water, but oftentimes they actually place the eggs on the dead creatures that were their prey. And they remain there on this dead poisonous carcass, venomous carcass, until they hatch. So although these little creatures' lifespan is quite short, they only live for about a month to a year, their life is dangerous to all around them. A group of these floating together are called a blue fleet, like a group of ships. So when you see one, expect more. And whatever you do, do not touch one of these. Picking up a blue dragon sea angel produces a painful sting like the Portuguese man-of-war. And symptoms may include nausea, pain, vomiting, acute allergic contact dermatitis, potential vesicle formation, and post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation and even death. So beware and enjoy your wonderful day. Thank you.